When we were confirmed as a site of this conference in March of this year, we fully realized that we were taking on two major challenges. The first one was to organize this important conference in a relatively short time, and the second, to ensure that the theme to be selected with ICDE would not only be relevant given our present circumstance, but also that it could remain relevant for the years to come. We hope that the first challenge has been met with all the success that Murphy's law would normally allow, but this will be for you to decide by the end of the conference on Saturday. As for the second challenge, we believe that it's also met by the theme that the SCOP 2009 Coordinating Committee picked, quality in the context of the financial crisis. The objective that we are placing in front of you, since it is only with your work in these 2 dense days that it will be realized, the objective is to suggest a roadmap for the behavior and response of higher education institutions to financial crisis, such as the one we are trying to weather at present, some with more difficulty than the others. As you will learn soon, there are omens of more financial crises to come. And our contribution, your contribution, will prove invaluable. Let me now to suggest briefly, very briefly, 2 points to frame the debate. The transformative role of education and the necessary transformation of universities. Don't worry, I'm going to mention just the headlines of these 2 points. If we really do feel that our world needs a new template for growth, and that universities are a powerful tool for innovation and a factor for well-being, then we need to place them at the center of the social debate and provide them with the necessary resources to help deal with challenge they face. In short, it's time that we made educational excellence a priority. To construct a new economy, transform society, and fight for equity, we need the support of knowledge and the backing of universities. Change doesn't usually come from natural resources. It comes from ideas. And those ideas come from well-trained people. It comes from, I like very much a quote of Richard Davis, Vice Chancellor of Swansea University in Welsh. I would like to say it in Catalan because he said it in English, but in Catalan has more sense, but I'm going to say it in English. You are going I'm going to say it in Catalan now. But in English, we should take advantage of recession to create an economy where the wealth comes from our minds, not from our hands. I said that in Catalan has more sound because mind is men and hands is mans. So in Catalan it could be, we should take advantage of recession to create an economy where the wealth comes from our mens, not from our mans. But I like the quote. It is in times of both social and economic crisis that it becomes clear that investing in quality education is the best strategy for improving people's employment opportunities, their future well-being, and the well-being of a society as a whole. There is a consensus that the opportunities for growth in the future will depend on high-tech and high-valued-add products and services, which will require highly qualified workforce. Today, and more specifically in our context, problems with education tend to boil down to quantitative issues. Big budgets, he knows that very well, more faculty, more or fewer credits, and more or less education. However, I feel that the answer goes beyond investing more public money in the education system, which is also needed. It is a question of being brave and innovative because we are in a society that is changing rapidly, a society that needs new answers to challenge of education. We need to teach longer, we need to teach better, and we need to teach more people, and to do so, universities have to change. We cannot respond to the challenges we face if we do not know how to make the educational system an agent for innovation. Therefore, the objective of higher education is or should be to improve citizens' quality of life, contributing to the development of people, society, and the economy. The studies and reports conducted by all kinds of institutions around the world clearly show that in the 21st century, the leading economic powers will be those that have been able to convert themselves into learning societies, making lifelong learning their main aim. To do so, they will need educational institutions that are strong enough and flexible enough to adapt to these new times and new demands. Beyond talk, we have some good examples of action concerning the responsibility of universities in front of the crisis. We have a really interesting document from recession to recovery from UK universities, giving examples of actions taken by universities in all parts of the country, framed at the campaign Standing Together. We have also University of Scotland with a very good document, Innovation, Our Way Out of Recession. Or let me mention our action. We at the UOC at our university are offering capacity building free courses for the newly unemployed in cooperation with our government. From April to the end of this year, we'll have had 30,000 people following these courses, and we hope that the next year, 2010, we will have 60,000 people doing these courses. I believe that we have the necessary international consensus regarding the need to move towards a knowledge-based economy, and that the crisis offers us a golden opportunity to do so. However, we will not achieve it if we do not have a strategy geared towards strengthening research and innovation and entrepreneurial, excuse me, I have always difficulties with this word. Entrepreneurial universities focused on academic excellence. However, we cannot transform society if we do not first transform universities, and this leads me on my second point, the necessary transformation of universities. Over the last academic year, I have attended a number of international meetings with ministers, presidents, and managers of educational institutions from around the world. At every meeting, concern was raised regarding the change in the type of students going to university. Our young people under 25 have grown up at a time when mobile phones, internet, Twitter, and Facebook are as normal as flights were for us. Frits, this immersion in the interactivity at a formative stage in their life has affected the way they think and they learn. There is an ever-growing division between the learning model offered by universities and also by schools, a natural way young digital students learn. Digital students want a more interactive education. They learn differently in a non-sequential, asynchronous, multitasking, and collaborative way, and they demand faculty that are more a mentor than a sole repository of knowledge. Students want and need another type of teaching, and if we ignore them, they will end up ignoring us. Now more than ever, do the words of Montaigne make sense? Rather a well-made than a well-felt head. We must open the door and open the way to new student-focused learning methodologies that are integrating, accessible, and cooperative, and which make the most of a strategic use of digital technologies. And we, distance universities, can do it easier than conventional ones. Without our realizing, ICTs have changed aspects through the academic sector, and I am sure that they will change many more. And not because we at universities or those in government have planned it this way. Our students are leading the way in terms of change with their everyday practices, and in most cases, they have done so despite our resistance. I'm therefore convinced that the great force that will change universities is the practice of digital students. And if I am right, we either listen to them and change the educational model and transform governing structures, or they will change them for us. And concluding, at the beginning of my speech, I put some emphasis on the need of a new template for growth. Now, I would like to focus and to add that I really believe that even if we have to find creative solutions for the crisis and recession as universities, we also have the responsibility to serve not just a source of economic growth, but as society's critic and conscience. In a recent article in the New York Times, the president of Harvard wrote, "Universities are meant to be producers not just of knowledge, but also of doubt. often inconvenient. As the world indulges in a bubble of false prosperity and excessive materialism, should universities in their research, teaching and writing have made greater efforts to expose the patterns of risk and denial? Should universities have presented a firmer counterweight to economic irresponsibility? Have universities become too captive to the immediate and worldly purpose they serve? Has the market model become the fundamental and defining identifier of higher education? And she ends saying, and I'm going to end with her words, human beings need meaning, understanding and perspective as well as jobs. So thank you very much. And now I'm very pleased and honored to give the floor to our Minister for Innovation and Universities. Thank you.